If you're like me, you want what's best for your family, and your desire to protect them has led to a lot of scientific research. So you know the innate adaptability of microbes is accelerated by the selective pressure of widespread and inappropriate use of antimicrobial agents. You're also aware that over half the U.S.'s antibiotics are fed to farm animals to make them grow faster, and also to protect them from diseases which are easily spread to the animals by being penned so close together. And now antibiotic-resistant bacteria are showing up in the meat we eat. That's why when I buy chicken for my family, I choose Franken's free-range chicken. At Franken's, their chickens are truly free-range. They can leave the farm whenever they want. That's why you might see a Franken chicken catching some rays at the beach with friends, enjoying the thrill of extreme sports, or just hanging out watching TV in his underwear. But best of all, a Franken chicken isn't penned up, and he doesn't eat antibiotics that promote resistance. Isn't that right, Franken?
That's right, folks. I'm free-range and antibiotic-free. So, eat me!
I sure will. Also ask for Franken free-range beef.
Franken free-range chicken. Ask your grocer for it by name.
Overuse and misuse of antibiotic drugs in humans and animals could make many infectious diseases untreatable. What if I told you that humans in the United States take about 3 million pounds of antibiotics a year, but our farm animals take almost 8 times that much?
I think it's terrible.
Why?
Because I think that we are ingesting a lot of antibiotics that we're not even aware of. Now you're freaking me out. I don't want to know that.
Why do you think farmers use antibiotics?
Probably to keep disease down.
But you don't have a problem with that?
No, I don't.
You're a farmer, and so what do you...
I'm a farmer. There's pesticides, herbicides, and there are Chilean chemicals in all the foods that we ingest. It's bound to cause something that's not normal in the chemistry of a human being.
What are the antibiotics really doing? They're just reassuring the people who are going to buy the meat. Taking antibiotics, if you don't actually have a serious infection, can cause bacteria to build up a resistance to it, and then you have a real problem.
Every year, 8 billion animals are raised for human consumption. Antibiotics have been added to their feed since the 1950s. It seemed like a good idea. The animals didn't get sick as much, so they grew faster, and that kept the cost of food down. But these are the same antibiotics doctors use to treat humans. Drugs like penicillin, bacitracin, and tetracycline are in the meat that we eat. Now, these antibiotic chemicals are not just in the meat. Where you have animals, you have animal waste, feces, manure. Food animals produce 3 trillion pounds of waste per year. 90% of it is bacteria. This waste gets stirred up into the air in the form of dust. It's wetted down and turned into fertilizer for crops, or it runs off into rivers, lakes, and oceans. We're finding antibiotics in the water supply, in the soil, and even in the air we breathe. It's a big problem, but people are making a difference. Consumers are seeking out antibiotic and hormone-free meat, and they put pressure on huge fast food chains to stop buying meat raised with growth-promoting antibiotics. In 2003, McDonald's announced they would stop buying meat containing 24 antibiotics. See, we can change the world on a large international scale or on a smaller, more personal scale.
So, Peg, you're doing all this stuff. Of course, there's these terrible germs that will kill us all, right? But
Exactly.
What can we do?
Well, the most effective thing you can do is just wash your hands.
And that's what these plates are.
That's what these plates show.
So, what have we got here?
Well, before this hand was washed, it was rubbed against one of our benches, and you can just see there's all sorts of different bacteria. Exactly.
And then
your
they
hand
grow.
would create the same look.
How cool.
Now, if you washed your hands,
Here's it says, this
even
one
if you
says,
didn't have soap, you just washed.
just rinsed.
Just rinse your hands with water.
Yeah.
Look at the difference between those plates.
Far fewer bacteria
Exactly.
growing.
Then,
here,
if you washed with soap like you should, you're down to just 1 or 2.
and this says 30 seconds, half a minute.
And here's a minute.
And if you did it twice as long, there's hardly
Exactly.
anything growing there at all.
And it's not just that you want to wash your hands and get these bacteria off. You don't want to get rid of all the normal bacteria that are healthy on your skin, so you don't want to use antibiotic soap if you don't have to.
You don't want to dip your hands
There's
in
no
antibiotics.
reason to.
Yeah, just
Save
wash them
those
off.
tools for the doctors and nurses who really need antibiotics.
Tommy, drink this.
What was that, Mr. Sanders?
I've been feeding antibiotics to Tommy for weeks, and now I'm giving him a very strong strain of germs.
Mr. Sanders, are you experimenting with Tommy to see if the germs become resistant to the antibiotics?
Yes, Mary.
The germs won, didn't they, Mr. Sanders?
Very good, Mary. You get an A.
What does Tommy get?
I believe it's a form of jungle fever.
Oh.
We've come to a crossroads in our fight against germs. See, we can't continue to rely on the antibiotic drugs we have now. We have got to reduce our use of antibiotics. We've got to stop taking antibiotic drugs every time we get the sniffles. We've got to stop pumping our farm animals full. And we've got to stop using antibacterial soaps, scrubs, and wipes against germs that we could be just washing down the drain. All of these things make the problem of antibiotic drug resistance worse. They all create environments where germs can mutate and lower our quality of life. You see, we're running out of drugs to fight these bugs. But on the other hand, if we all do our part, these life-saving drugs will still be available to do the jobs they were designed to do, namely, save lives. That's our show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on The Eyes of Nye.
We've covered a lot of ground, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Check out eyesofnye.org for more cool science.